What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Culture Wave Media YouTube channel. My name is Darian if you don't previously know me, and I have a very special treat for you guys here on the channel. It is my full-length interview with Genneya Walton, who plays BB Urich on Daredevil Born Again. She was in season 1. She's back for season 2. We talk a lot of things in this interview. It was an absolute pleasure to sit down and talk with her for a little bit. We discuss the influence in bringing an original character to Marvel in the MCU, what it meant for her to be connected to her uncle's character of Ben Urich from the original Daredevil series from Netflix. We talk about her relationship with Michael Gandolfini's Daniel Blake character and the aftermath of what happens in episode 7 that aired just as of last night, which we're going to be reviewing later in the week. But it was a really great discussion with Genneya. It was really fun to get to understand her significance in joining the MCU. We play a fun game at the end, and her excitement to play a character of this nature with BB Urich. So please check out the interview with Genneya Walton. Give this video a like if you guys can. Share it with your friends and family. Subscribe here. We're over 1,000 subscribers now, so really excited for a lot of upcoming things here at Culture Wave Media. And the more views and likes and things that spread from this interview means we're going to have more opportunities in the future to talk to more awesome people just like Genneya Walton. So without further ado, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. Here is Genneya Walton for Daredevil Born Again. I am a big fan of the show. I'm a big fan of the MCU, big fan of you. Really happy with the way that Born Again has turned out. I'm really excited to have some time to talk with you today. My first question for you has to do with getting involved in this series in general, because you came in for this is a new rebirth, obviously, of the Daredevil character. And you're following the legacy of a lot of the original Netflix series and the characters that came in that are back for this, like Charlie, like Vincent, Wilson, Deborah. Can you walk me through the process of how you got cast in this series originally, and if there were any pressures that you may have felt following in the footsteps of the Netflix series that came before it?
Yeah. The audition process was very unconventional in that I only sent one self-tape and didn't know what it was for. So that was quite weird, but a part of, all of this. Um, and yeah, I got the news like 2 weeks after or something like that, and was very confused, quite honestly, because it's usually so many more steps to it. So my team just called me and was like, you ready to move to New York? I was like, what are we talking about? Hold on. And by the next day there, I double checked. I was like, hey guys, I wasn't imagining that, right? Because they called me at like 2 in the morning. I was not in town. And they're like, no, yeah, we're doing this. And thus the journey began. But I was told not to watch it just because they wanted me, like the original series, just because they wanted me to kind of form my own ideas and perception of her as a character and build her just freely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I did watch it. And I'm so glad I did, because it really helped me kind of build the world and relationships that BB had that we haven't gotten to see ever, and understand Ben Urich. And I mean, just such a beautifully written and performed character, and I knew I had big shoes to fill. So I think in terms of pressure that might have come with that, of course, I feel like there's always a slight feeling of that whenever I'm starting any kind of job, but I think because they did allow me that freedom to create her as I pleased, and were so encouraging for that. It was very helpful. And I was also just like, with this kind of thing, you just have to commit. I like threw myself to the wolves and saw what made sense, and really had to observe uh, the world once I finally got to actually step in it. And like my second day, I was working across Vincent at in his office. So it was just kind of like, you got to hit the ground running, and don't, spend any time with like self-doubt or, all of those things that might get in the way.
Yeah, obvious. And so I'm glad you brought up Ben's character, because even regardless of them not, I understand why they might have wanted you to stray away a little bit, because there are differences, obviously, in terms of the translation from the Netflix series to what they do with Born Again. But they did such a, like, Vondi Curtis Hall did such a great job in the role of Ben,
Yeah.
obviously. And your character is an original character. So did you talk to him at all, or did you head to the comics for inspiration based on the way that Ben was written? Or did you really just stay away and were like, I'm gonna really craft this character from the heart of what I believe BB is on the page?
Mm. Um, I pretty much made the process like watching the show one and getting an understanding for the world, but also just him in particular. But for me personally, I was trying to pull my own like real life experiences and just I wrote out like a whole letter essentially like as her and tried to see where I can like kind of like bring in my own experiences and also what made sense to me from the story I built from just watching the original show. So it was kind of more that approach, I would say. And, things ended up changing as we went, script wise and just like what felt good as we were going about it. So I think it was just like overall a very explorative kind of situation with her
Yeah.
because it's so like this is a new character. You can kind of go anywhere with it, but like obviously make some choices. But the way I mean the writers ended up putting her together was made it much easier to be able to kind of form what I wanted her to come across as and how I wanted her to carry herself.
Yeah. I feel like you have access to my questions because my next question is actually about splitting the season in two. So you're right on the
Ah,
money
okay.
with what I got. But so there was a lot of info that came out online, obviously, that came to the forefront. There was like a lot of things in the trades about how they were reworking things, Marvel on their end. And it was originally like when it was announced, I don't remember if it was a Comic-Con or one of the Marvel like PR days, but it was originally supposed to be this larger 18 episode first season that they winded up then splitting into two seasons. You wind up getting
Totally.
9 episodes in the first season. There's going to be 8 in this season by the time it wraps up. With season two, in my honest opinion, it feels like the series has really found its fluidity and its footing in this season a
Yeah.
lot more, probably because of the comprehensiveness of having that through line. Can you talk about the
Mhm.
process of coming to learn not only that and how it affected your initial understanding of BB, but also maybe
Mm.
how it differed the arc for your character?
Mm. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it even began at the audition process because the character breakdown, even it was like she's brash and she's this and that and whatever. And the way in which I played her in my audition tape to how she ended up actually developing the show is quite different. I felt like I was a bit colder and more stern and whatever. And I actually really enjoy how she ended up coming to be like she's so like human and is like doing things that are maybe like morally questionable, but like there's such a complexity that she ended up having, especially in this season. Um, but the we were definitely trying some things out, even with her fashion. In the first chunk of shooting, differed a lot, but I think what really also helped her and for me to find her more was working with Michael and Daniel in the show because I feel like that relationship is so important and layered for her that that was such a great expression through the writing and just doing to see like her humanity throughout like all of the she has her plan over here but like oh man this guy is kind of like making it a little hard for her to stick to that um so there were some like changes in terms of like appearance, some like story, some vibe and energy, but I really like where she ended up. I think she it makes sense for the age that she is, what the circumstances, and I think it really came together. And I season two, I mean, when I first read the scripts, I was like, oh, we're starting off with a bang. So I'm
Yeah.
very happy with how it all turned out.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the evolution of BB's character even through the beginning of the first season, all the way to where she ends up by the end of this season. One of the things I feel
Mhm.
like I had read, I don't know if you had said it in an interview previous or I saw it somewhere, but I believe when the reworkings happened, the BB report stuff started to come out a bit more. Like, I don't know if those were in the original scripts that you had seen, or that was something they kind of, when they
Right.
had the creative
Yeah.
restructuring, they made that more at the forefront. Um, and
Yes.
yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I completely forgot that aspect. Yes. Yeah, BB reports actually didn't exist until I got into ADR, which was like everything was filmed, and then I get in the studio to record lines and fix some things. And all of the season one all my voice in the BB reports was all in the studio for ADR. So I didn't get to see any of that. That was new to me. And I was like, oh, wait, this is exciting. And I think it developed into such an interesting device for her character by season two. Once she starts working for Fisk and his administration controls what I'm saying in all of those. So it ended up being, I think, such a great piece to the whole puzzle as like a voice for like the people of New York while all of this chaos is happening.
Yeah, because it mirrors a lot of just modern news as well. The way that
Yeah,
young people are like kind of ingesting news nowadays. Like normal
totally.
news networks aren't necessarily a lot of where people are going to get these things. So getting to add that
Yeah.
modern flair, you said it was exciting for you. Like when they came to you with that idea where you're like, I'm all in, like this really reflects a lot
No,
of
completely.
my experience as a young person as well.
Yeah. I think it really breathed a new life into um, BB as a character, but also as like New York as its like own voice and character within itself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the big thing with this, and the original Netflix series had some of this too, but I think Born Again is this brilliant tapestry of like an ensemble. Like there's so many characters to follow. There's also a lot of strong female characters that are in this
Mhm.
show that you see across the two seasons, whether it's obviously your character of BB, but Vanessa Fisk obviously plays a major role. Karen Page has just evolved from the Netflix series into this. Heather Glenn now kind of serving an even different kind of role in this season compared to the first. So, what is it like for you to be a part of such a rich ensemble and like such greatly like strong female characters being written?
Mm. I mean, it's truly just like a masterclass every day that I'm on set with anyone that I get to be with. Because a lot of my time is spent with Daniel or Michael. So I mean, Deborah and I were so excited when we saw that we were gonna have a scene together, and I kind of just like picked her brain about, her experience on the previous show and like what we're doing now and just life and the industry that we're in. And it was really special to just get to watch all of them do their thing. I'm like, they're incredible humans, one, but also just incredible artists. And I learned so much from all of them. And it was so lovely because the ladies were like, wait, like we have a Daredevil group chat with everyone. We were like, let's make a little ladies one. And like it was such an important connect for me, honestly, because I'm not from New York. I had to move there to work. And it was just so lovely having them kind of being there, one as friends, but like to help guide me through the kind of this craziest time in my life. And I'm so grateful for like all of their presence in my life on and off set. They really it's such a big deal to me that I've gotten to one play a character that is like nothing like I've ever gotten to do before, but also just like so complex and strong and but to work with them was just like what the hell.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I love that they're expanding the story beyond like there's like a B and a C plot, but you care for the characters because the scripts are great. I mean, genuinely, and there's so
Yeah.
many different writers that came in for the show as well. What was it like for you being a West Coaster? What was it like coming to the East Coast to film this? What are your thoughts on the East Coast now that you've done this for a couple of years with the Daredevil crew?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was such a I'm such a California girl, but wow, New York is so fun and exciting. I was overwhelmed by options of food one. I'm such anything and everything all the time. So just like, oh, this. So I loved that. The weather's a little rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. That one was hard
Yeah,
for me to get used to.
that's fair. That's a
Um,
fair criticism of
yeah,
the East Coast.
yes. But what I find so exciting about New York is just there's always something happening. I always find myself like meeting new people and ending up in some random situations that I was like, this is not what I planned for my day, but sure. I think it like allowed such a different freedom, one, not having to sit in traffic like here in LA, but just a freedom of like your day to day. And a lot of people are so down for conversation. I love it there. It's so
Yeah.
good. I just go sit in Washington Square Park all the time, people watch, and then end up like at a bar with a stranger after. Like it's so good. I love it so much.
I love that. Yeah, we're based in New Jersey, which also has a
Okay.
pretty major impact on one of your co-stars because Michael is originally from New York. His father, being the late great James Gandolfini, led The Sopranos, which is like again like so important to New Jersey. It's important to everybody, but of course, for as a New Jerseyan
Yes.
and for our home state, it means so much. What were some of the things
Right.
that he kind of helped you with in terms of the East Coast getting to know? Because you guys obviously were so close working together, but also I'm sure off of set you
Yeah.
guys were hanging out a lot. So what were some of the cool things that Michael showed you about the East Coast and New York in general?
Oh man, such great. He really knows how to pick a good dinner spot. We would we would have a lot of discussions, especially with like, the material that they gave us this season. We were like, we have to sit down and discuss this. So he was my main point of reference for being like, where do I go get lunch? Where do I go? He knows all the spots. I'm very grateful for him there.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you, what are your thoughts on, what are your thoughts on pizza and bagels in New York versus California?
Bagels, 100 million% better in New York.
Okay.
Yes. Pizza, there's a few here that like I really rock with.
Okay. So
Some,
you think the
okay,
pizza
they can
argument
kind of
might be a bit overstated in your mind?
maybe not overstated, but I'm like, I think LA has a lot of food options too. So I
That's
think there's
true.
some things that are pretty like comparable. But I mean, I guess we don't have pizza on every damn corner,
I
or
was gonna
like,
say
it's
that's
like
true. Every
we're
third
beat in
storefront is basically a pizza joint in New
yes.
York.
Yes, and it's like you can get like the fanciest if you want, or like a dollar slice. We don't have dollar slices here, as far as I know. I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So you guys got to be there. Actually, yeah. In conclusion, pizza, bagels are better anywhere.
Well, transitioning back into the relationship with Michael's character of Daniel Blake in the show, what was it
Yeah.
like to work with him on a professional level, like on the set, and you guys kind of
Mhm.
having that connection? Also, that you guys are bringing two, probably the two most consequential new characters into Born Again
Mhm.
with this larger ensemble that has already known each other and worked together now for, I don't even know, close to a decade, if that, you know?
Yeah. Um, my God. I mean, it was Michael's just awesome as a human, as he is. So I think, gosh, it was so much fun. And we were rooting for them. By the end of filming for season one, we were talking to the showrunners and producers and writers, being like, we root for them. I don't know how this is gonna happen, but like we want them together somehow. And um I'm so happy with how their storyline goes, because I think it showed such great humanity in both of them, where they both have their own goals that are opposite of each other's, but the care for each other was like making it so hard to continue on their paths. So that push and pull, I think, was so beautiful, and it was so much fun to play um, with Michael specifically. And it was so great to see, I guess, how far they're willing to go for their own agendas, but what they were willing to risk for each other. And I think that added so many wonderful layers for their characters separately, but also to see unfold together.
Yeah, the relationship is deeper in this season. Like the intimacy goes to a deeper level.
Mhm.
Specifically in episode 6, there's a scene that sticks out to me. It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire season, truly, where you go to Staten Island to celebrate his birthday and you excuse yourself to go to the restroom and you walk into
Yeah.
Daniel's childhood bedroom. Which again, as an East
Hmm.
Coaster, it's like it's gonna hit me probably a little bit harder than other people, but it's like seeing the tapestry of what that childhood bedroom looks like to him. It adds a different layer of humanity to Daniel with the Yankees pennants and the Goodfellas posters and the picture of him with
Yeah.
his father who's no longer in his life, which again correlates a lot to his being without his father anymore. So, did the weight of that scene feel different to you when you shot it because of your friendship with him and understanding maybe a little bit more of what he's gone through and his relationship to the East Coast?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was also, there was just a added personal like feeling and intensity to that scene, because up until that moment, up until that trip that they took together to Staten Island, we didn't really get very much context of their childhood or life outside of their jobs, really.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah.
was just like here it all is, and I was like, oof, oh my goodness. And I tried to like not go in the room before we had to film that little scene, and it was, I mean, I think just like a pivotal moment in their relationship, and for people's view on BB, because up until that moment, she was, you know, given all the information up all the time. And that was like the first time that we see, like, oh man, she really does care about Daniel and is now making the choice to look out for him instead of just herself and her plans here. So that was such an important moment.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Genneya, when this interview comes out, the world would
Yeah.
have seen episode 7, so
Oh
we can
no.
talk about it.
Okay. Yes.
Um, it just keeps leveling up the stakes of the world, in my opinion. I thought episode 6 was probably my favorite episode up until I watched 7. And watching
Mm.
7, I was like, man, they're like really outdoing themselves with this episode. And uh, in this episode, we see the crucial decision that a lot of people were wondering a lot with Daniel's character, with the will they, won't they, and whether he's willing to throw you under the bus for Buck,
Mhm.
or if
Yeah.
ultimately he'll sacrifice himself for the love he has for you.
Mhm.
We see that it's the latter. So when you
Mhm.
do find that out in the script, um, what was your reaction to that? Like, what was your initial reaction to being like, I can't believe, regardless of the situation Daniel's in, he's still going to do this for the love of BB.
I actually didn't get to find that out until after we finished filming. We
Interesting.
finished shooting, so like he survived the whole season. We had other scenes that obviously will not be shown. I didn't find out until I was doing ADR for the season, all the voice recordings after. And I found out in the booth and I started crying because I was like, what are you talking about? It was, and they're like, you know what, this is great though, because it clearly has an effect. Like it worked. It's gonna do what it needs to do. But I was genuinely heartbroken. So yeah, I didn't have the experience of getting to read it in the script and all of that. It was much later actually. So um it's crazy how that can happen. You never know what's gonna end up in the final cut of things. So
Yeah.
it's really
Have you
big
yourself
experience.
seen the episode yet and see how it plays out?
No, I haven't.
Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna you're gonna cry again. You're gonna
I
cry
don't know if
again.
I'm ready. I don't know if I'm mentally prepared for that. If just hearing about it made me cry, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I might have
It
to.
it plays out great though. Again, it's honestly
Yeah,
my favorite episode
be
that I've
crazy
seen
to
from this
see.
season. So,
Mm,
yeah, it's really
happy to
good.
hear.
Yeah. For you now, do you know what is next for BB? Because there's filming season 3 right now. I'm not sure if you did anything for it. I'm sure you probably can't say, but regardless, do you know the future of what's to come with BB? Or are you kind of like in the dark right now and being like, it's a wait and see approach. We're gonna see what happens.
It's definitely a wait and see thing, but I can just say that there's um how she closes out this season. It's a very full circle moment. I can
Okay.
say that.
Okay, perfect. We'll
Yeah,
reconvene. We'll reconvene when we see BB again.
totally.
I had another question actually that because you were bringing up the past of Daniel's character, and I'm just curious from your own personal perspective. Would you
Mhm.
like to see something of a flashback, maybe, where you can understand the relationship between BB and Ben? Like, would you be game for seeing something
Oh,
like that to dive a little bit deeper into her origin and where that came from with BB?
yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love that. I kind of had to create my own idea of a backstory to have something to like ground me to then, carry her on through. But I think that'd be so beautiful to see. And so many people want to see him back to whatever capacity, really. So I guess that would be it. But I think it would just be another wonderful layer to add to her her whole story and maybe make people like her more. I don't know.
I like
I
B.
think
I
it's
listen. I
handle
like
everything.
BB's character, and I like the way that they've kind of continued on that legacy, and they created this character from scratch that can build up and off of that legacy that Ben had in the original series. So I think you're
Yeah.
doing a great job. So don't worry about
Thanks.
the if
Thanks.
there's online
No,
trolls saying
no,
BS.
I actually think so. Some is valid. She's doing him dirty. She's doing Daniel very dirty very often. I can see some issues with that. No, but I do think it would be such a lovely little tie-in to see why she is the way that she is, and um I'd like to think that he pretty much raised her and she would just be around him when he's like at his table working on stuff and she's just asking questions, and that's what
Yeah,
inspired her to like kind of step into that as well. But
yeah,
um
that would be
I'd be
awesome.
curious. yeah, I would be curious to see what the writers would think about her
Yeah.
backstory.
Are
Yeah.
you upset, or do you hope that you can see your character interact with Matt at some point? Are you still waiting to do a scene with Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny being a part of such a big cast because there's some people that I didn't meet until the premiere. And like we worked on a whole show together, but we never got to see each other. So I mean, I would love to see their dynamic. Um, because she's on their team, she's on their side, but just isn't getting to have that crossover. So I would be very interested to see how they would interact.
Yeah, I would be too. I think it's setting the ground forward with the first interaction with Karen. So hopefully
Mhm.
we get
Totally.
something like that moving forward. I have one more question for you, and then I just want to play a quick MCU this or that game, if you're okay with that. Are you cool with that?
All
Okay.
right. Yeah.
My last question for you is, can you preview this next project I had read about on IMDb, Young Blood, or if there's anything else that you have moving forward that you're excited about that you can announce?
Oh my goodness, Youngblood, that such a fun experience. We got to film that in Key Largo for like a month and a half. It was such a oh my God. I mean, first of all, the cast was just incredible. We had so much fun. They just visited me here in LA for 2 weeks. Like we bonded so well and had so much fun. We got to really make the characters our own, and because we got along so well offset, we really were able to bring that in. And I'm excited to see what they choose because we improved a lot. We had that freedom, which was so exciting. So there's definitely some like moments throughout that thing where once we get to watch it, we'll be like, haha, like that you said that as you. Like we all had like such a specific banter that I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And I haven't really done anything like that before. So don't know when that's coming out, but I'm excited for it too.
Yeah, well, we'll keep our eyes on it. We'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this or that, I'm gonna give you MCU street level heroes until we
Okay.
get to the final person. This is characters that you would like to see BB share the screen with. Okay,
Ooh, okay.
are
Yeah.
you ready? All right,
Yes.
Kate Bishop or Jessica Jones?
Um, I'm gonna say Jessica Jones.
Okay, um,
Yeah.
Daredevil or Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel.
Miss
Sorry
Marvel.
to.
Okay. The Punisher or Luke Cage?
mm, Luke Cage.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
She-Hulk or Spider-Man?
Oh my goodness. Spider-Man.
Okay. No, we'll do it. We'll do it like a bracket. So then you got Spider-Man or Luke
hmm
Cage.
Spider-Man.
Okay. And then Jessica Jones or Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
Okay. So then you got Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, two of the young heroes. Go along
Yeah.
with BB. Who is your
Mhm.
choice and why?
Mm. I feel like I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Man.
Okay.
There, I agree with. I see some people being like, "Where's Spider-Man in all of this?" Everyone wants Spider-Man and Daredevil to come together in the show and whatever. I'm like, yeah, I would like to see it too. Like they're fighting in the same like pocket.
Yeah.
I have some questions for the man. Like,
I get it. I mean, we saw Matt show up in a Spider-Man movie.
right?
So we know that
Yes.
they know each other. So now we just
Yeah.
need
We want
Tom
more.
Holland to come into the Disney Plus world.
Exactly. Crossover this way. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd like to see that. I liked that
Okay.
game.
Awesome. Well, thank you for playing our game. Thank you for the time, Genneya. I really appreciate getting to
Okay.
talk about this with you. I hope we get to see more of BB in Daredevil Born Again season 3. I know they're filming right now. A lot of the stuff that I've seen looks really awesome. So looking forward to that and looking forward to see whatever else you got coming in the pipeline. Really excited for it.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
chatting. I had a
thank you. I
great
appreciate
time.
it. Awesome.
This is the culture.